What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video today, and today we are covering the finals, specifically season 2 and all the things that it brought with it, what I like about it, what I dislike, and why in general the finals continues to impress me, and what I think the future of this game could potentially be. But before we get into it, if you guys have seen my videos before and you guys enjoy it, feel free to like and subscribe to the content for more gaming reviews, discussions, and just news of what's going on in the gaming world. Anyways, let's get into it. For season 2 of the finals, they dropped a brand new map called Horizon. I love the synthwave aesthetic to it. I noticed that this map tends to feel more vertical than the original maps that came out, which because I barely found myself ever really touching the ground of this map. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's adds a little bit different dynamic to it, and also the color palette makes the enemies pop way more compared to the original maps. There's not so much hiding in the shadows like you tend to get on some of the other maps like Monaco or Seoul. This map is so bright and so vibrant, and there's not a lot of props going around that it really pops that enemy characters to make it a little bit more smoother. Also, this is the first map where you actually feel like you're in a video game arena. The other ones kind of make it feel like a realistic environment, which I guess is kind of the case because you are putting these virtual reality goggles, but this is the first map where you almost feel like you're in that Ready Player One Tron type atmosphere. Like I said, pure synthwave style and aesthetic, feels a little bit more gamified. Now let's go into the new things that they added to the game that helps with the replay value and just general content addition to kind of keep people playing and going. And that new game mode is Power Shift. It is a great addition to the game. I thought it was very much needed. Before this game mode, I found it very difficult to play this game solo or with 2 people, and I know I'm not the only one that felt that way, and especially with the game chat issues that the game was having, and honestly I'm still currently having. I don't know if I'm just stupid or what, but it just seems like game chat just doesn't work consistently. And on top of that, I feel like no one's ever really talking. Very rarely do I ever come across people talking, and just playing this game can be very unbearable without exactly 3 people all working together and in unison. It can be really tough. So I think this game needed that game mode where you can play by yourself and grind by yourself, or if you just need one other person. I think Power Shift was a great addition. I really like Embark's take on this style of the game mode, where they embrace the destruction. The platform goes through all the buildings and destroys them, and I think that adds a lot more variety to each game and how you tend to approach it, especially like after something's destroyed versus something is destroyed. There's something that is continuously changing because it adds that certain variety in how you want to approach the strategy. Because now that this building is broken, all right, I can't just camp on top of the roofs or get high ground. Yeah, and I have to come at different approaches. Sometimes it can be really tough, whether it be on the attack or the defense. The only thing that I find annoying so far with the game mode is that there tends to be a lot of snipers, more so than you see in the regular game modes, because obviously you can now afford to have that player kind of sit back and try to pick off people. And look, I know that's just the nature of being a sniper. It's like this in every game. There can be infuriating to deal with. I personally, they piss me off so much, but I understand that's just a part of the game. You can't really change that. Also, they added private matches, which is a great addition to the game, especially if you plan on if they plan on really pushing the esports side of the game. Now, as for new weapons that they added, I found that the new FAMAS to be absolutely terrible. And honestly, when I first hopped into the new season, didn't really see people use it after the first couple days, and I'm not surprised. Same thing with the 93R and the shotgun. Almost never really come across anybody using it. They're generally just not as good as the base weapons that are already there, which is a little disappointing. I think the best would probably be the 93R. I've used it myself, but it still doesn't really compete with some of the other weapons that you could use for the light character, and it is a little disappointing. The gadgets I think are a great addition. I think the new gadgets can add a lot more strategy to the game. I do also think they're a tad bit underwhelming, but I think as people tend to feel it out and understand how to use them, they can be pretty good. I honestly like the dematerialization specialty. I think that's a really great one to add, especially for moments when you don't really have, because sometimes when I play medium, you don't have that destruction, that explosive that can really break down walls, and I think this gives a little bit of an element for that medium character to be able to do some things even if you don't have that explosive on hand. The only thing that I found to be a nuisance in regards to the gadget was the reverse gravity cube. But then again, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's fine. I just think it could be like, all right, you're trying to get onto the point and then everything starts lifting up. But then again, I don't really come across it much. Honestly, it seems like people are generally tending to stick to the original stuff. So while I think the new things are great additions, I'm not seeing necessarily a whole lot of people use them, and I would like to see more gadgets and more weapons that end up being more useful to the game and can add a little bit more dynamic playstyle to it. From what I'm seeing around the finals community, a lot of people seem to be enjoying the new map and some of the new things that they added. Doesn't seem to be a bad start for the post-launch. I thought it was a decent addition, but kind of some of the things I came across, I felt like they weren't changing too much. I think the biggest upgrade was definitely adding that new addition to the game mode. I would like to see some more game modes added. I know the general concept of this is to be a tournament style, and I would like to see them add more tournament-esque game modes because it is called the finals. I know they want to push the standard game mode that this game started with, and I still really enjoy that game mode very much. So I love how different it is. But maybe you do a finals of Power Shift, you do a finals of a new game mode or some sort of single life game mode where you plant the bomb. I think there's all kinds of different avenues they can approach while implementing this tournament style. I think it could be really interesting and really keep people engaged. Obviously, there's always small balance things that can always be changed and adjusted, so I don't really want to go too deep into that. I'm not one of those people that really want to go nitty gritty with that. I really want to talk about things holistically. The only big thing that I'm seeing so far after this update is that the player base is still continuing to fall. It is falling slowly, but it's still continuing to fall. And obviously everybody expects to see that. Obviously you're gonna have that huge bump when a game first drops, and then you're just gonna kind of narrow down and get that actual player base that you're going to have. While I still think that's great, there still seems a subtle decline. I don't see a stabilization, which maybe it just hasn't hit that stabilization yet. I'm curious what Embark's goals is for that stabilization. Obviously, I'm only talking about from a Steam perspective, but obviously these are on different consoles as well, so we don't know how many people are playing. My guess, there might be more people on console. Not entirely sure. There's no way to ever really tell, but generally, I always think that player counts are usually tend to be pretty higher on consoles, especially because of the availability of it. In regards to the player count still falling, I still think there could be a few things at play. While I enjoy the game mode that they added, and other people might feel that it's another train kind of push the cart game mode and feel that it's not enough to bring them back, or just a little bit, come back for a little bit, but it's nothing super new. It's not a groundbreaking game mode like they did with the first one, which I know it's tough. You can't necessarily come up with something brand new every time, but I like their take on it. I know some people might feel that way. They might just see, oh, it's just pushing that, and then they never give it a try. But after you actually try it, I realized, oh, it is kind of like their own take on it, and it is different compared to something like Overwatch or what we've seen with Defiant or Escort, and countless FPS competitive games that have it. I believe having a few more game modes could introduce some new people to the game that maybe didn't like the standard game mode, but I think that'll come with time. Obviously, they can't do this immediately. It's going to take time as the finals come out. I don't want to be hypercritical of the game when it's only been out 2 months, and overall, I think they've done a great job. Really no server issues, not a ton of bugs. I've noticed that my performance has dropped a little bit, which hopefully that can bounce back up with time and the optimization gets a little bit better as they add more players and whatever they decide to do. The big thing to me that I think is hurting this game that really needs to be added, and it probably will be with time, and honestly it should have always had, is a grind, something to rank for outside of just playing ranked. I feel like there's nothing to really push for and play for, whether it be grinding for attachments, getting skins. It feels like, I understand that it's a free-to-play game and there is stuff to get without paying for something, but it seems like there's no way to really rank up weapons or really to stop people from running the same loadouts over and over again, or really rewarding people for using the same gun or same gadget outside of just a couple basic skins. And I understand, like I said, it is a free-to-play game and they're trying to push skins, they're trying to make more money, but there is an element of it where if you don't want to play ranked, or even if you are playing ranked, you still want this outside force, something else to keep on pushing you and leveling up, whether it be an actual level number, because I feel like levels in this game don't really mean much. You don't really see them unless somebody's in your lobby. There's just, it's kind of the same issue that you're seeing with Halo. While there is this kind of like level system, it's not really promoted or really pushed. It's just a basic simple little number that's by your name, and then on top of that, you don't really see it in a lobby. So when you get into a lobby, you don't really know how good someone is or how much time they put in. I think somebody who's done this a really good is Apex Legends, for example. It's a free-to-play game. There's a lot of cosmetics and stuff. Obviously, there's not a lot of ton of things to grind for, but seeing stats does, even something as stats, motivates a lot of people. Seeing the amount of wins somebody has with a character, the amount of kills they have, assists, whatever it might be. I think Apex does a great job with motivating people through stats and then hitting those milestones, versus the finals, you don't really get that at all. And potentially they could add that. I think that's something that they definitely need to add. You need to have something for somebody to strive for. And that's one of the issues that you see in Halo, and I don't want them to repeat what we see in Halo. Overall, I'm thoroughly enjoying the new season and everything it has to offer. I thought it was perfectly well timed. I thought they dropped it out at a good time. They didn't wait too long. My only concern with this game is the dropping in player count every week and how they combat that issue. Because to me, even though I'm really enjoying the game, I realize there's a lot of people that are potentially getting bored with it or just isn't resonating with them because of the potential reasons I listed earlier. But anyways, if you guys love and made it to the end of this video, thank you. I invite you to like and subscribe and turn on the notifications if you want to see more gaming reviews, gaming news, and just general gaming discussions like we did today. Feel free to do all those things. You know what to do. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.